Hello, hello. What's up? I've been playing Last Epoch since last week, I guess, is when I started it, about 6 days ago. And this is what I've been working on. I went from a Cinder Strike build. It was a Cinder Strike Trapper Blademaster, which was complete dog shit, um, into this Puncture it's a Shadow Dagger Trapper. So pretty much what my goal of this build was, since if you come over here and you look at the explosive trap, it has a damage scaling of 300 effectiveness of added damage to the explosions. So that's an extra 300 effectiveness of added damage. Puncture is one way that I'm getting my shadow daggers. I apply a shadow dagger on hit, and shadow dagger has 340% effectiveness of added damage. So in the back of my head, I was thinking, all right, these two have around 300% added effectiveness. How do I take this and use it to the best of my ability? So I started stacking added damage. On the gloves, I have plus 18 throwing damage, which Shadow Dagger and the Explosive Trap are both throwing damage. So I get 18 from the gloves. I get 11 throwing damage from one ring. I have 17 throwing damage from the belt. I have 11 throwing damage from the other ring. I get 42 just flat cold damage. I have 31 throwing damage from the amulet, which is just stacking and scaling flat. I also get 14 throwing damage from my offhand. So I just sat here and I stacked added throwing damage because 300% effectiveness. Then to take it further onto the tree, I didn't really have percent throwing damage, so I grabbed 49% increased throwing damage from the passive tree. And then over here, I can grab more flat throwing damage, which is 16 to throwing damage. If I wanted to, I can also grab more throwing damage from the hurl node right here, which is just going to give me more flat throwing damage. I get more increased throwing damage from the pursuit node, which I haven't spec'd into yet, because even though I have all this effectiveness, even though it on paper it would seem like it would do good, um, the general outline for what I was doing with this build is using puncture, and puncture is a melee attack. With the hold this node from the explosive trap, every time I deal a melee attack, it attaches a trap to the target hit. And then with the aspect of the rabbit, every time I get hit while they have an explosive trap, it switches the explosive trap around, therefore dealing more damage. So I use a melee hit to attach the explosive traps. Now my explosive traps have a 100% chance to drop another explosive trap, which when the explosive traps explode, they also have a chance to drop an acid flask, which is pretty much how I was doing that. So puncture is not only used to generate the shadow daggers, but it's also used to apply the traps and use the flasks all on one button. Just hit them with the melee attack. It attaches the explosive traps, and then when they explode, they also have a chance to drop acid flasks. Fucking cool. Cool idea, right? Is what I thought. So then I was using dash as a movement skill for a pretty good while. until it just didn't cut it. I couldn't do empowered monoliths in it, and in order for me to get better blessings, I'm required to go and kill the empowered monolith bosses, right? And I knew for a fact that even with all of the added damage that I had just with the explosive traps, it was dog shit. It just doesn't work. Don't do that. It's a waste of your time. So I was like, okay, what else can I possibly add into the build to make it better? Then I came across Shadow Daggers. Now, Shadow Daggers is being used on Puncture, but then it's also Synchronized Strikes. Now, Synchronized Strikes, I kind of put in place for the dash as a movement skill. Does it really work like a movement skill? Not really, but it does make me tanky. So, whenever I use the Synchronized Strike, I have Umbral Assassination, which, inflicts a Shadow Dagger, which is, Shadow Dagger from Puncture or Shadow Dagger from Synchronized Strikes. Every time that I use Synchronized Strike, my shadows use Shadow Cascade, which I have allocated over here. And with the Shadow Elegance node, it's also a chance to, you know, apply a Shadow Dagger. So it's pretty much just a Shadow Dagger Trapper, is all this is. Does it work? Not really. It's pretty bad. Um, it lacks damage. The damage on this is dog shit. It lacks defenses. The defenses on this is pretty dog shit also. But let me try to, I don't know, run in here and show you. So, using the only two skills in the game that have over 300% effectiveness of added damage, it seems like a good idea. Everything is working together, right? But it's not really one-shotting or shredding anything. So, with way less investment from having to search for gear, with having to find seals, grind out glyphs, um, you can find something that's just 20 times better with way, way less investment. Um, I don't know why this is bad. All I know is that it's just bad. It is. Um, when you see individuals running 400 corruption and you go on a multiplayer game with them and you continuously get one-shotted and then you try to find someone or you try to go and kill something and can't, it's a fucking degrading feeling, right? So this was the concept that I had to try to create something that I thought was cool, you know, stacking additive damage because, explosive trap gives 300% effectiveness and shadow daggers give 340% effectiveness, right? But don't don't do that. It's dog shit. Anyway, that was my idea. I gotta go figure out what else I can play for this season. This was my first character. It's not gonna get me anywhere. Especially if I want those good blessings. There's no way in hell I'm killing any type of boss, empowered boss with this. So yeah, I gotta go figure out what else I want to play or something like that. But this was a fucking terrible idea. The concept is cool. It is having everything work together like that. The traps and the acid flasks and the shadow daggers just sort of working together. It was a fucking cool concept. It's just dog shit though. So that's what I was playing. I did take down all the other bosses though. So one of two things is gonna happen. Either I'm going to try to continue to play this build and figure out how to get it to work because I actually don't know why it's so bad. or I'm just gonna have to scrap the entire idea and find something else to play. Anyway, yeah, don't play this at all. I mean, it's a cool idea. It is. It's just bad. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.